How far would you go to break a promise sealed in blood? Today we are diving into the chilling story of Mapalo Masiku and Kalua Mwika, a young couple whose relationship took a dark, irreversible turn. This is a story about obsession, a tragic final meeting, and the heavy weight of an oath that was never meant to be broken. To understand how things went so incredibly wrong, we have to look back at where it all started. Mapalo was just 21 years old, a promising second-year nurse student at Chitambo College in Zambia, Copperbelt Province. Kalua Mwika was an alumnus of the very same school, having recently completed his studies, while the exact timeline of their romance remains a mystery. Campus life seemed to be the backdrop of their relationship. Photographs left behind show them smiling in classrooms and walking around campus grounds. It is highly likely they met during Mapalo's first year, a time when she was new to the environment and Mwika was already established. They dated for roughly a year or two, and on the surface, everything seemed perfectly normal. No one reported loud arguments or obvious warning signs, but beneath that calm exterior, a dangerous obsession was brewing. As Mwika graduated and transitioned into the next phase of his life, a rift began to form. Mapalo's focus shifted, and rumors suggested she was ready to move on. Reports later claimed she had met someone else, a young man named Patrick, and had completely fallen out of love with Mwika. But walking away wasn't going to be simple. You see, Mapalo and Mwika shared a dark bond. They had entered into a blood covenant. To make matters more complicated, Mwika claimed they were practically engaged. In his mind, Mapalo belonged to him, and the idea of her leaving was completely unacceptable. On Sunday, December 13, 2020, the two agreed to meet face to face. Mapalo's goal was clear. She wanted to officially end the relationship. Mwika's goal was the exact opposite. He wanted to plead his case, fix their issues, and convince her to stay. When discussing the breakup didn't work, Mwika suggested they take a walk. They wandered away from the main campus area and into a secluded bushy thicket deep in the woods. Mwika kept begging for another chance, but Mapalo stood her ground. Then, according to the subsequent reports, Mapalo made a highly unusual and baffling compromise. She reportedly offered to sleep with Mwika one last time. Furthermore, she allegedly claimed she would give him anything, even a child, but maintained that her heart now belonged to Patrick. This detail raises massive red flags. Why would someone desperately trying to escape a relationship offer to carry the ex-partner's child? Was Patrick even real? It is entirely possible that Patrick was a fabrication, a desperate excuse Mapalo used to try and break the psychological hold of the blood covenant. She was young, likely only 19 or 20 when she made that blood oath, and she may not have fully understood the terrifying possessiveness it would unlock in Mwika. Whatever the logic behind the offer, Mwika accepted. The two were intimate in the secluded area. But intimacy did not solve the problem. If anything, it made it worse. Once it was over, the reality of the breakup set back in. Mwika likely believed that being close again would change her mind. Mapalo, however, remained completely unyielding. She was finished. That was the moment Mwika snapped. In a fit of rage, he lunged at Mapalo, placing both hands around her neck and strangling her. To ensure she would never leave, he then picked up a heavy tree branch and struck her violently across the head, ending her life. What followed next was chillingly calculated. Mwika didn't run. Instead, he called a close friend and confessed to the entire thing in a calm, matter-of-fact tone. He gave precise coordinates to where Mapalo's body lay and coldly announced his intention to end his own life. He even noted that the phone would be left unlocked so the police could access the evidence without a password. The authorities rushed to the scene. Mapalo's body was discovered exactly where Mwinda said it would be. Just hours later, searchers found Mwika hanging from a tree within the school compound, only meters away from the crime scene. Looking back, it's a devastating reminder of how dangerous high-stakes breakups can be. Perhaps the safest route for Mapalo would have been to cut contact entirely or ensure the breakup happened in a crowded public space with friends nearby. But this case leaves us with some haunting questions. What are your thoughts on this tragedy? Do you believe psychological or spiritual weight of a blood covenant pushed Mwika to the edge? Do you think things would have ended differently if that oath had never been made?